Zohran Mamdani confirms he thinks Trump is a fascist and threat to democracy, doubles down on sanctuary policies and impeding ICE following Oval Office meeting. What did I tell y'all about Zohran Mamdani? What did I say about it? He's a snake oil salesman. This dude is a snake. Like, he'll go in and he'll say all the things that you're supposed to say, but then he doesn't really mean any of those things. He met with Trump. He was so fake. He was so fake. I knew it was a facade. I tried to tell y'all that. And people really thought that they would be able to work with Zohran Mamdani, that he gave up his socialist ways. It was all a facade, because now he's back doing his rounds, doing his interviews, and trashing Trump again. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to play the clip. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button. Share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. There you'll find a link to my Patreon. That's where I talk about things that I can't talk about here. There's also a link to my Instagram and my X account, so follow me there as well. All right, so let's get into this news. Now, this comes from the Gateway Pundit, and they report that Democratic Socialist New York City Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani appeared on NBC's Meet the Press this morning, where he said Trump is a fascist, a despot, and a threat to democracy, just 2 days after he met with the president in the Oval Office. I told you this dude is a scumbag. As the Gateway Pundit reported, President Trump hosted Mamdani at the White House on Friday afternoon. Two emerged from their meeting appearing highly optimistic about their agreement to work together for the benefit of New York during a press conference. Trump shockingly even told reporters that he expects to work with Mamdani on crime and illegal immigration. The press conference was quite chummy, especially for political rivals, with Trump heaping praise on Mamdani throughout the meeting, even shielding him from adverse questions. It was sickening to me. I'm not gonna lie, y'all, watching this. Mamdani was asked more than once about his previous statement calling Trump a fascist and after evading the initial question, Trump interrupted, stating, "That's okay. You can just say yes," he continued. "It's easier than explaining it. I don't mind." Let's watch this clip. I played this clip before on a previous video, but let's watch this one again. Here we go.
Clarify your answer to Stephen Nelson. He asked about your comment calling the president a fascist, and your answer was, both President Trump and I have been clear about our positions and our views. Are you affirming that you think President Trump is a fascist?
I've spoken about...
That's okay. You can just say yes.
Okay.
It's easier. It's easier than explaining it. I don't mind.
Mr. President. Yeah. Yeah. And in his Sunday morning interview, Mamdani confirmed that he does think nationalism is fascist, Trump is a threat to democracy, and that he is not going to allow ICE to deport illegal aliens unless they're convicted of quote unquote serious crimes. So let's play that clip. Here we go.
NYPD would be the ones to do so.
In that press conference with President Trump, a reporter asked you whether you believe that President Trump is in fact a fascist, a word that you've used in the past. You were about to answer, then President Trump sort of jumped in and he said, quote, "That's okay, you can just say yes. It's easier than explaining it." So, Mr. Mayor-elect, just to be very clear, do you think that President Trump is a fascist?
And after President Trump said that, I said yes. And
so you do.
And that's something that I've said in the past. I say it today. And I think what I appreciated about the conversation that I had with the president was that we were not shy about the places of disagreement, about the politics that has brought us to this moment. And we also wanted to focus on what it could look like to deliver on a shared analysis of an affordability crisis for New Yorkers.
You've also said in the past that President Trump has engaged in a, quote, attack on our democracy. You've called him a despot. Do you still believe President Trump is a threat to the democracy?
Everything that I've said in the past, I continue to believe. And that's the thing that I think is important in our politics, is that we don't shy away from where we have disagreements, but we understand what it is that brings us to that table. Because I'm not coming into the Oval Office to make a point or make a stand. I'm coming in there to deliver for New Yorkers. And a few weeks ago, I was asked by a reporter 3 words to describe myself. I said, New York City. And that's what animated that conversation. How do we deliver for the people of New York City?
I think that some of your supporters would be curious to know. You say you stand by your past statements that, yes, he's a threat to the democracy. How do you square working with someone who you still think is a threat to the democracy?
Great question.
I think working for the people of New York City demands that you work with everyone and anyone, and that you always look to find those areas of agreement while not overlooking the places of disagreement. And I think this was something that came up in our meeting. We spoke about immigration. We spoke about the fact that in New York City, we have sanctuary city policies that allow for the city to work with the federal government on around 170 serious crimes. The concern for so many New Yorkers comes about anything beyond that. And I spoke about the importance of us being able to protect New Yorkers, and some of the incidents that we see, they do not do that.
You raised.
So is he a threat or is he not a threat to democracy? You know, you don't work with a fascist. You don't. So what is it? This is how you tell these Democrats are so fake. On one hand, they call first, nationalism is fascist. Nationalism is not fascism. Wanting the best for your country, being nationalistic for your country is not a bad thing. I don't know how it turned into this bad thing all of a sudden, wanting to put your country first, wanting to do what's best for your country. How is that a bad thing? So they making nationalism to be out to be a bad thing when it actually isn't. And then he's still calling Trump a dictator, a despot, a fascist, and all these other things, a threat to democracy. But you're working with him. It doesn't square. It doesn't square with me. And most of the things that these leftists, these socialists believe in is not based in any type of logic. That's why it doesn't make sense. This is why everything they do this is why they're walking hypocrisies, because everything they do is everything they say and do is exact opposite from one another, and it doesn't make any sense. But this comes after Mamdani's incoming chief of staff, Ellie Bisgard Church, said the day after the White House meeting that Mamdani, quote, made clear that we uphold sanctuary laws in our city and all immigrants will be safe in our city, accusing immigration officials of inhumane practices. So nothing has changed. Quote, our sanctuary city law allow cooperation in extreme violent felony cases, and that is something where I think we have alignment, she added in a clip and endorsed by Mamdani on X. New York will always be a city of immigrants, supposed to be legal immigrants though. When we protect the communities who keep this city running and uphold our sanctuary laws, we create a future that's safer for every New Yorker, Mamdani added. But is it safer? Is this safer in New York City today? Absolutely not. So it shows that their policies of allowing these illegal criminals to remain in New York is not working. It's actually harming the American people. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Leave y'all comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe, and check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.